Alright, everyone, welcome back. And after what would I call a terrible episode 5 and not so average episode 6, episode 7 of Daredevil Born Again is finally here. And I have to say, this one had a lot of going on. Finally, we can see the old creatives are back, and that alone is worth talking about. Now, if you didn't know, this entire series was actually shot twice. Yes, twice. The first version included a bunch of goofy elements, basically the kind of humor and wackiness you would expect from She-Hulk, and that version was apparently going to be the final cut. But by the time it was finished, the writer's strike happened of 2022, and thankfully Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox put their foot down. They said, nope, this is absolute garbage. We need to redo this. So what happened? Well, a more of a serious version of this show was shot. Now, of course, you can still see some of the goofy elements and that carried from the original cut, especially in the episodes, like terrible episodes from 5. But overall, the show is finally moving in the right direction. And I'll say this, episode 7 really stepped up, because in this one, we finally get to see Muse's original plan unfold. His fanatic nature, his obsession, and his dangerous mindset all taking the center stage. Now, if you remember from the first few episodes, Muse came to town looking for a book, and that book led to Daredevil's girlfriend, the psychiatrist. She basically serves as his inspiration, his guiding force, because as of now, he reads her books, studies her philosophies, and somehow believes that she is the perfect candidate for his next blood-spraying diagram, his next twisted masterpiece. And that's when things get really intense. Before Muse can go through with his horrific plan, Daredevil steps in, and this time we see a brutal side of him that we haven't seen in the series yet. The violence is finally here, and it's visceral. Daredevil uses the hook part of the Billy Club, his signature weapon, and literally rips through Muse's chest. This wasn't just a simple fight scene, it was gruesome, it was raw, and it actually felt like Daredevil we know from the Netflix era is back. And this is what we've been missing. But before Daredevil can finish her Muse off, the psychiatrist ends up shooting him, and just like that, Muse is dead. With Muse now dead, Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin steps up and takes credit for it. He declares that vigilantes are no longer needed, and just like that, the entire storyline about the city's vigilantes is brought to an abrupt half. And honestly, this is where things start feeling 50-50. The action in this episode, fantastic. Muse's final arc, okay, good. But the personal stories of Vincent D'Onofrio's character going literally nowhere. Seriously, at this point, we have no idea where his things are leading. If they were going to build up something big, that should have already started by episode 3. But instead, we've been stuck in this slow storytelling mode, especially for him, for way too long. That being said, there are 2 episodes left. And if the old creators are literally back, we might actually see something exciting in these final episodes. And you know what that could mean, right? We can see Karen Page finally return. We might see the Punisher show up. And if that happens, these things could really actually get interesting. But here's the thing, the viewership numbers tells you everything you need. Right now, Daredevil isn't even in the top 10 shows anywhere. Why? Because people aren't as excited as this version, Fans wanted the old Netflix style adaptation, and it feels like holding back instead of going all in the gritty storytelling that made original Daredevil series so successful. And you know who else knows this? Marvel. In fact, that's exactly why Disney has been leaking season 2 pictures, showing off the Double D suit, the black suit, and even some pre-show footage with the Punisher. They want the fans to get excited. They want to generate hype for season 2, because right now people just aren't that invested in season 1. And honestly, that's a kind of a smart move. So where does this leave us? Well, there are still 2 episodes left in this season, and I hope that these last 2 episodes really bring back the intensity and storytelling that we always loved from the original series. But let's be real, until Fantastic Four comes out, this might be the only good Marvel project we get. Thunderbolts, which is not exactly the Thunderbolts we know from the comic book, I don't know. It's directionless, literally. So if this season can stick the landing, it might actually give us some hope for the season 2. So overall, episode 7, very good average. Some parts were great, some parts felt like they were going nowhere, and the real question is, can these 2 last episodes save the entire season? I really hope so. But let me know in the comments section what do you think about this episode. Did this episode really bring the real Daredevil back? Are you really excited for the last 2 episodes? And do you still think the show can land their landing better? Drop your thoughts down below. And as always, if you've enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one.